What's happening, everybody? How many people are in here? I think there's 0. Just me. All right. I think it's just me. I got one person watching. What's happening, JD Tech? Just me and you, man. Oh, wrench and bolts. What's up, Josh? I like that. Is that heavy wrench and nuts and bolts combined? How you guys doing? Good? Awesome. Me too. Friday. All right. You guys have a good week? My week was crazy. Try to fix this. Try to get set up here a little bit better than last time. What's up, occupant? What's happening? I like it. I like it, Josh. It's like me and the wrench. We birthed a little, you did not birth. That's not going good at all. I didn't mean that, but together we created a YouTube name, I guess. What's happening, Antonio? Nick, what's up? Oh, Dave, what's happening? Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. I like this day. I wasn't sure if I was going to get anybody on because CP does his on Friday. Last week was a fluke. He wasn't feeling good. And I had a couple people ask me if I was going to do live tonight. So I thought, hey, why not? I like it. I enjoy it. I had fun. I think we had at the most, I think I had 29 people last week in the chat. So not too bad for my first time. Kind of felt weird. Oh, it's Mrs. Nuts in the house. She's there. Hi, Mrs. Nuts. She's having ladies' night in the kitchen. I'm in the garage. Yeah, if you look behind me, you can see all the floor space. Yeah, that's because Mrs. Nuts did some work this week and cleaned out the garage. So, yes. I like it. It's nice. It was a nice surprise. Bounce house? Where? I had a bounce house last weekend for my kid for the birthday. There was a bounce house out in front. I don't know. There's not a bounce house here. I don't know. So it is Friday, and I am happy it is the weekend. It has been a crazy week. Oh, I want to say thank you, Ulsa Tools. So my T-shirt I won in the giveaway. Got that, and I shared on Instagram. I got that, a little coffee cup, and I haven't used the coffee cup yet because it's really little, and I don't drink tiny cups of coffee, and so I'm not sure. What's up, AgTech? I'm not sure if my cup of coffee will fit in there, and I haven't wanted to overflow it, so I haven't tried it. But it's a cool little coffee cup, and some Allen sockets from Capri. And I was Capri. Never mind. Yeah, so I got that from Ulsa Tools. That was awesome. I got to get my koozie here. Hit that like button on the way in, everybody. Got the koozie, got the Coors Light. I wish I had some 805 right now, but no 805. Well, here's to Friday. Cheers. If you have a beer, soda, water, whiskey, whatever it is that you drink, cheers to Friday. Except for Dave. There's no Fridays for Dave. Dave works all the time. He works nighttime, daytime, morning time, road calls all day today. What's up, Luke? My son's friends are in here too. All right, here we go. Got the Patron for the Friday night. Let's do that up. What's up? My son's in the house. Hayden, what's up, buddy? Oh, well, I am happy it is Friday. Cheers.
Away.
Damn, I just had one. All right, there we go.
I need to say something besides it's Friday. It's the same thing. Post your question. What's everyone doing? What was your toughest job this week?
All right. Oh, yeah, mini nuts and bolts. There you go. That's what we're going to call him, mini nuts. Mini nuts. All right. Mac Tools. So that's a funny story. I looked at the Mac flyer before I went home and thought, what's up, Power Stroke Jude? I didn't do any salt. I had it out here, but I didn't do any salt. I thought about it, but I was like, wait a minute, I got Patron. And then I forgot. What's up, Tyler? So Mac Tools, funny story. So I looked at a Mac Tools flyer before I went home, and I thought about doing a video on YouTube about the Mac flyer. I see that people really like those tool videos where they talk about the flyer, but anyways, so here is a funny story about Mac Tools. So in my career, so 16 years ago, I worked in a shop in Benicia, and I worked with several people that, A. Murray in the house, cheers. I worked with several people, old guys, they've been doing this 25 years. They had drawers, like a whole drawer of nothing but broken Mac tools. And obviously no Mac driver around. I never saw a Mac tool truck ever. So for years and years and years, never saw a Mac tool truck, but I knew lots of guys that had drawers of broken Mac tools and had worked in multiple shops. And there's my mother-in-law nuts, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so worked in many shops and had many broken Mac tools and never had any. Obviously, never had any warranty. Because it was never a Mac truck. I never even saw a Mac truck ever. I knew of Mac tools. I only saw Matco and Snap-on. That's all I ever saw. So in Benicia, I worked there, got done, moved up to Sacramento, worked at a shop. I worked there for 6 years. I think I worked there for probably about maybe 4.5 years, and a Mac truck showed up. And I thought, oh my God, Mac truck. I've never been on one before. So I go out and check it out, and they got a flyer. Obviously, it's the same kind of deal they have now, all this time later, where they've got this, buy 15 pairs of pliers set and get a free, I don't know, some sort of wire strippers or something, right? And so I bought it. All right, cool. I bought the set of pliers. Awesome. And he was out of the free tool, whatever it was that you got. And so whatever. So the guy never came back. He never came back ever again. I never got my free tool. And to top it off, the cutters, the very first time I used the cutters, the tip of them V'd out. Like the first time. I was cutting like a cotter pin or something like that. And so pretty disappointed in Mac Tools, but I never saw the guy again. And so then fast forward to my next shop. And I was there for years and years and years. Oh, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. When I went to the next company, I worked at the Citrus Heights store, and there was a Mac truck. And that guy was awesome. His name was Paul. Paul was the best tool truck driver I ever had. He was so cool. He didn't try to hustle you. He tried to sell you tools, but not try to kill you. What's up, Wrench? Not try to kill you. As a matter of fact, that's how I end up buying Sunex tools. I went out, I wanted to buy some impact wobbles, and he said, you know what? I'm not going to sell you those. I'm going to sell you these Sunex. They're warranted the same, and they're all the same. What's up, Diesel Tech? And they're warranted the same. They're all taken care of. And so he sold me a set of Sunex impact wobbles. And is my screen keep freezing? It's freezing. It's freezing here. So so he sold me the Sun X Impact wobble sockets, and then I end up buying another set, another set, another set. I think I have like 5 different ones, but I never bought any Mac wobble sockets. I bought Mac tools from him, and he was a great guy. Then he retired, and then no more Mac truck there. And I got transferred to a different store, and then obviously no Mac truck again. No Mac truck for all this time. I keep going on and on and on for years. And then all of a sudden, that same Mac driver shows up from years ago. And he looked in his records and he swore he didn't owe me anything, whatever. I think I bought some leads from him. I bought a couple things from him. But the guy would come on Monday. And the shop was a Monday through Saturday shop. And so half the shop wasn't there on Mondays. For 1 month, you wouldn't see half the guys. And so I kept telling him, dude, come on a different day. You're never going to get the whole crew here. And you're gonna miss stuff. But he didn't. He kept coming on Monday, and he came for probably a few months, and people must not have been buying anything, and so he just stopped buying, stopped coming again. And so for a long time after that, what's up, Kentucky Tech? A long time after that, no Mac driver, and now I'm at a new shop, and he hit same Mac driver, and he comes to this shop. So now he's there, but I'm super leery of buying Mac tools. Let me tell you, because I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess he's been coming to this shop for a really long time, and they haven't had any problem with them not coming. But I mean, hey, you never know what's going to happen, man. Where we're going to end up. So yeah. So I'm very leery, but that's my story about Mac. I like Mac. It's a good company. It's just I haven't had. But you know what? On the same token, I know people from other parts of the country, and they have the same problems with other companies. Matco tools or whatever. So, all right, let me catch up in the comments here. I've been trying to keep an eye on what we got going on here. I'm trying. If you ask, okay, is my home box a Cobalt or a Husky? It's actually a Craftsman, I think. Pretty sure it's a Craftsman. Yeah, it's a Craftsman. It's a top box and a bottom box. They're 2 separate boxes. What's up, Wrench? What's up, Phil? My stepdad gave me that box. They were coming out of garage. When he first gave it to me, I didn't have hardly any tools in there. I had hardly no tools. My tools suck. I could barely take a spark plug out of my Sienna van because my extensions were so small. Like, I didn't have enough, and so then I had to. I recently just combined boxes at work, and so I went from 3 toolboxes in a cart down to 2 toolboxes in a cart, and so I had to move everything. And so I got a whole bunch of pliers and screwdrivers and stuff that I just had lots and lots of doubles of. I brought them home, and now I have more stuff. It doesn't all fit now. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to make it all fit in that box. So, what's up, Walter? What's up, Small Engines? So that's the story about that. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments here. So it's Friday. I'm sure some of you work tomorrow. I do not, thankfully. All right. Yeah, Walter. Yeah, I guess somebody mentioned the other day that's what you should do if you don't have a truck coming by, or I don't know if you don't say okay, you called Mac Tools. Okay. Yeah, so I'm assuming that's what you got to do. Is you got to call, and what's up, Renegade? I actually had at one point in time I had something from, is it Matco? I can't remember. I had a tool I needed to have warranted, and they were supposed to be getting a driver to come by to warranty it. I think I got it warranted, but I don't remember. To be honest, I have Matco, Mac, and Snap-on, and I'm sure Phil over here is gonna chime in on this. But all around, Snap-on is by far my favorite tool company. They're probably the most expensive, but just for flat out feel, durability. I mean, I'm sure everything lasts. All ratchets break, all screwdrivers, all picks, radiator hook picks. They all bend. They all, whatever. We all have our own, our own opinions. But like snap-on ratchets, and I don't know. I mean, that's my favorite. Ratchet-wise, I would say Snap-on is by far my favorite. I have Matco and I have Snap-on in my regular rotation, but the Snap-on ones for sure are definitely what I prefer. Blue Gloves in the house, and does any showed up? What's happening? So tell me about your guys' week. What was the hardest one that you had this week, or the easiest job you had this week? I am so my shop, the shop I'm at now, we have so there's three, me and two other guys are I would say the most experienced. And so I'm experienced at everything. We have another guy who's experienced at everything. We have another guy who's like a European. He was, I guess, when he got to that shop, he was the diesel guy, because he replaced the diesel guy. And then there was another guy who did all Europeans. And that European guy left shortly before I got there. And so this guy, he became the European guy. He's been out this week. And so I'm the European guy right now. I have two Mercedes Sprinters. I had a couple of Mercedes, a BMW, and before I left today, I just had another BMW roll in my stall. So it's nothing but Europeans for me right now. So, oh, Jude said if you like Snap-on, check out his upcoming video. Okay. I will be watching. Phil, I loved your video, man. That was pretty cool. That was a really cool video, and I don't work on big tractors and stuff like that. Man, that injection pump was ginormous. I've done a few of I think it was the last generation Cummins. I don't remember. I think I've done the second. Is there 3 generation Cummins? I can't remember. Anyways, I've done the last one, and I think the one right before that one. Man, those injection pumps are nothing. Like they're not even half the size of that injection pump of that 8.3 that you did. So that thing was a small Honda engine almost. You use a cherry picker to get that thing out. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's pretty darn crazy. It's not that big, but it's about double the size of a 5.9 injection pump. I would say probably double. Yeah, and a lot easier too. All the fuel lines connected along the top. I mean, now granted, you're at the side of it, so you can get all around the back, the side, the top. You just can't get the backside. I mean, no different than a regular Cummins, but man, all those lines were in a straight line. You do a 5.9, all the lines are in a circle. You have every kind of wrench you own trying to get those things loosened up. Check out that video if you haven't seen it, the heavy wrench. I'm telling you, that's a really cool video. Worked some big stuff. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got a few of us from the TSS in here, Text Talking Shop. We're working on our next video project that we're going to be doing. We haven't quite decided. We're working on that right now. Trying to keep everyone, get everybody going. It's kind of hard to communicate with that many people, and we all have jobs and homes and kids and all that good stuff. Just catching up on the comments here. Yes, in different time zones. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, when some of us are trying to talk and we all work at different times, so sometimes I'll be at work and everyone I know they want results. I know we're getting it. So what are you guys talking about you have for 2 years? You talking about that? Yeah, you know what? That does any your Milwaukee 3/8 that thing looked pretty awesome. I have the Snap-on 3/8, and when I first got it, I thought it was pretty strong. You know, I'd never used the Milwaukee tool. I've never known anybody that owned one. Um, but you know, I thought the Snap-on one was pretty strong. I got it, and I went over to I don't know. I think it was like a Trailblazer or Equinox or something. It's, you know, probably like 100 foot-pound torque on the lug nuts, and it whipped it right off. And I was like, awesome, man. Since then, I went over and I tried some stuff, and I just cannot get it to do much. So I generally don't. I generally don't even break it out very often anymore. So I just get out my air gun for anything, so I don't have to mess around. So only time I use air tools is when I'm taking off lug nuts. So let's see, when I use air tools, because I use quarter tools mostly. I'll use my air tools when I'm obviously taking off lug nuts. I use it to do suspension. When I'm doing any sort of steering or suspension, I'll get my 3/8 gun out. And let's see, when I need to use the air hammer. And then when I'm doing timing belts, I had a 3.5 liter Honda Pilot that I did a timing belt on this week. So of course my little tiny 1/4 inch air ratchet was out, just going nuts for the timing cover. Nothing beats that, doing a timing cover on a Honda. So my air tools definitely get neglected. Yeah, that was crazy. That I couldn't believe that either, that they didn't give you a new one. Oh, is my video choppy? In the garage. Let me know if it is. I don't know. I haven't noticed. Um, so today was pretty cool. I had a Sprinter. I did a turbo on a Sprinter, and it was the fastest turbo I've ever taken off. It was one of those ones where I got done and I was super stoked. It was I think it took me probably like 40 minutes to get the turbo off all the way. That was pretty cool. I've never gotten a turbo off a Sprinter that fast. Now it was a 2012. I don't know if you guys work on Sprinters, but depends. That one was easy because, well, okay, so one reason it was easy is because there's a bracket that goes from the turbo, that goes from the pedestal down to the block, and the bolts. You think that they're like this, but they're actually like this. And so they're e-torques. And so when you go to put your ratchets on there, if you don't get them on just right, you'll round them off. And that bracket was missing. So luckily I didn't have to fight that bracket. But what's up, Brent C? So that was nice not having to mess with that bracket. But and also in the newer Sprinters, in the older one, so the outlet, the downpipe, it comes. Well, I'm going to say it comes up, but it really goes down, right? It comes up from the DPF cat and all that. It comes up, and then it has the flange on there. The older style, the outlet pipe is all part, and it doesn't disconnect. There's no separation, so you just have this big old outlet flange, and the only way to get it out is to go down below, disconnect the cat, and then try to fish this giant cat out of an area where there's just no room. But the newer ones, the outlet flange, so you got 3 bolts, like one here, then one here. So you undo those 3, and then there's a clamp right there, like this far away. And you undo the clamp. Actually, I have a video coming of this turbo, but anyways, you have a clamp right there. So you just undo the clamp, and then you pull the clamp off, and the outlet just comes off and gets on the ground. So You don't even have to fight that outlet tube or anything. So that was really nice. And then when you have that off, the EGR tube is right there. I mean, you'll be able to see in the upcoming video. Yeah, it's man, it was pretty cool. That was my fastest turbo ever, my fastest turbo removal ever. I think I removed, so if I'm pretty sure it was a 6 liter, and I did it in about 25 minutes. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I did it in about 25 minutes. If I'm mistaken, I'll feel bad, but I'm pretty sure it was about 25 minutes. It was pretty cool. But that's just like nothing but elbows and assholes and just going. So got everything there. You know, all the tools that you need. It's like working at a dealer. I can't imagine knowing what I was going to be working on. I remember watching a video and the guy was like, he said something about he knew it. He knew what he was going to go work on. And so he went to his cart and he was able to just get all the tools he needed for that job, all of them, and put them on a cart and roll them over there to the cart and then lift it up to the truck or whatever it was and just do the job. And there was nothing that he needed. He had everything right there, every socket, extension, wobble, everything. It was all there. There was no, I don't even think he had to get anything else. I cannot imagine being able to just grab all the tools I needed for one job. I know, like, does any works in independent? I know Phil works all over in the snow and, you know, so anyways, tractors and stuff like that. But I can't imagine knowing exactly what tools I was going to need to do every job that I had to do. So that would get pretty boring and pretty repetitive for me. That's why I never went to work at the dealer. Oh, I almost did this last time when I was looking for a shop. I really considered the dealer. I really considered that I interviewed at Ford, pretty big Ford dealership, and I interviewed for the fleet department, and it was going to be pretty much working on nothing but 6-7 power strokes like all day, every day. But no, I don't want to work on the same thing all the time. I mean, I guess you could make some money, but then you have the warranty and all that stuff you have to deal with. So that's my opinion about that. Nothing wrong with the dealer, but it's not my cup of tea. So so let's see. So this week, so I learned a valuable lesson this week. I've known this. You work in a shop and we do inspections. So I don't know about you guys, but every shop I've worked at, we do inspections. We do, you know, digital inspections, different types. And where I'm at right now, there's not a set. So Dave, he's never bored. There's not like a set policy for everything. Everybody has a different answer about everything. And so I had a couple of oil changes and in a row, and one of them I had seen the guy had done a ton of services and a bunch of repairs, and it looked like everything was done. I thought everything had been done, and then the other one, anyway. So I didn't do any inspections on him because I didn't think that you know, neither one of them needed anything, and nobody told me to, you know, to do an inspection on it. And actually, it didn't even say it on the work order. And so later on they came back and said, hey, you know, you didn't do an inspection on that car. Always do an inspection on the oil change. It's like, okay, no problem. You know, I'm used to doing that. I just thought that we didn't do it that she told us to. And so I did a quick inspection. I think I did like a half inspection because I had to get back on a Sprinter. And it was like, you know, the hoses were original and it was like a couple fluids. I think that's all I even got to. And before I turned around, the work was already in my box. I sold power steering flush, tranny pan gasket, hoses, and a coolant on this Mercedes. And so, you know, hey man, do your inspections on the cars. That's what I learned. So don't listen to anybody about not doing the inspections. So let's see. My next favorite tool you're looking to buy. Oh my gosh. Actually, so I'm not gonna tell you guys about that. I'm about to do something different with my toolboxes and stuff. So let's see. Next tool I want to buy. Man, that is a good question. I haven't been buying very many tools lately. Still trying to get acclimated from Christmas, and I got 2 kids' birthdays. I got one coming up in 10 days. And just had one January 1st. Let's see. Next tool. Man, I don't know. I have to think about that. I'm having a brain fart right now. I know I got, so I saw that Sunex makes a whole I know, right? Kentucky. I know I only have 2 boxes now, but I got something kind of cool. So I'll give you guys a little hint. I got something different coming. I got a little project with with one of my boxes that's going to be happening pretty soon. I've always wanted a hutch, but I was not going to spend $15,000 on a hutch or whatever it costs. Is like a ridiculous amount of money, and so I'll be making a video about that pretty soon. I'm working on that, but I'll have a little bit of room coming up, so it's gonna be kind of cool. Um, Only 2 boxes. I know. But you know what? They're not, now I could say the boxes are full. Like they are full. Before I had 3 boxes and I had so much room where I was at, and I had so much room that I just had stuff spread out. So I had pliers spread out into one whole drawer, and I had, you know, screwdrivers in one whole drawer. Well, right now I have that screwdrivers and the pliers are in one drawer, and it's in half of the drawer. Uh, because I just had so much stuff that I didn't need. Like I had multiple pairs of pliers. Like I brought home like probably 30 pairs of pliers. I brought home a whole bunch of screwdrivers um, that I had. I just have a ton of stuff at work. I mean, and not even to mention that I have all those tools already in my cart as it is: screwdrivers and pliers and cutters and all that stuff. Oh, okay. Next tool I'm going to buy, and I have to figure it out. I'm going to buy some automatic wire strippers. So I got to look into it. My coworker today, he showed me a pair of Mac Tools ones, but like I said, you know how I feel about Mac Tools. I don't think I'll be buying any. What's up, Wrench It? I don't think I'll be buying any Mac Tools anytime soon. But anyways, I gotta do some research in that. Oh yeah, hit the Renegade is saying hit the like button, fellas. So automatic wire strippers are next on the list. So, and actually, it's funny, as I was going to bring my 3rd box home, I was thinking about bringing my 1 box home. I was like, I got that double, stacked Craftsman box at home. I don't really have room to put a bigger box that covers more floor space, because that covers, the box I have at work is, like a 4-foot box. That's like, I don't know, 3 foot. I don't really have room for that. And so I was going to bring it home, and, Mrs. Nuts and Bolts, she was not having it. She was like, I don't know where you're going to put that. You're going to have to put it in the backyard. There's no room for that. And I was thinking the same thing. I just don't really have room. And my coworker actually asked me, hey man, you want to sell that box? And I was like, oh God, really? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you want to buy it for what I want to sell it for. And so I ended up getting, I think, $50 less than I originally planned. So not too bad. So yeah, so he took it home. So that's how I only have 2 boxes. So let's see. Let's check out the comments here. What do we got here? Smash that like button. That's right. Smash it. Oh yeah, Dezenny's about to get a box. Yeah, man. If you can wait a little bit, Dezenny, I'll show you, or I could tell you in a message what I think that you should do. I don't know. Are you still? Did you decide if you're going to go with a regular bay with a hutch or a triple bank, or what did you decide? I don't. I know we talked about it. We were all kind of giving advice, but I don't know if you ever said what you had decided what you were going to do. But I have a suggestion. It's what I'm doing pretty soon. Joseph, what's up, Joey? Thanks for checking. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, okay, all right. Do you lock up your tools every day, or do you leave them unlocked? Do you leave them open, or do you want like a locking hutch that closes so you can lock it all up every day, or do you just want like a hutch because it looks like a hutch? What kind of box did you get, Nick? Don't you know what? I don't lock up my tools, man. I've been very fortunate. I've always worked in smaller shops. I have never, you know what, the first shop I worked at, not the first one in Benicia, but when I moved to Sacramento, the first big shop I worked at was two other guys. And every day I would get my sockets out and I would put them on my little tiny red Harbor Freight cart and I would roll that thing around and work on cars. And at the end of the day, I would take them all and I would I would put them back in my toolbox and I'd lock up my boxes every day. What's up, Bill? And and one day, the guy, he's like, I asked him, I was like, you guys not lock up your tools? And they're like, no, why? If somebody was to break in here, they're not going to have very long anyways. And if they do, the last thing that they're going to want to mess with is my ratchets and wrenches. Like they're going to be taking scanners and, equipment. And I thought, that's actually okay. All right. So I didn't lock up my tools. I worked there for 6 years. I never had a problem. And then the next shop, same thing. I never locked them up. I worked with guys that locked up their hutches every day and locked up their boxes every day. And I was the foreman for 7.5 years. And so, it's my job to make sure that everybody had the tools that they needed. So I would leave my tools unlocked every day. And on the weekends, I would lock up my boxes, but my keys were I had one key to my one box, and all the rest of the keys were in that box. And usually somebody knew how to get in there if they needed something while I was gone. Because I didn't want them needing some sort of special socket or a specialty tool that I had while I was gone. So I always kind of had it, but now I don't lock up anything. I mean, it's just all. I mean, I've been very fortunate. Oh, that sucks, JD. So he's had some stealing at his shop. I've been very fortunate that I've never had anything stolen. We've never had to deal with that. At my last shop, we had a guy. We suspect it was a certain person. A bunch of equipment went missing. A whole entire AC machine, a Vantage Pro. Oh my god, like a $500 or $600 hub tamer kit. We had quite a few tools stolen in a short amount of time, right about the time that he wasn't working there anymore. So I don't lock up my stuff, but if you don't, if you're, I'll tell you my idea. I'll message you about that. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So it's a pretty cool little thing that I'm doing here coming up. Got a few things in the work. This week's been very. Sometimes I have times where I don't have any vehicles or any time to get any footage for anything. And this week I've been very fortunate. It's been a good week. I dropped 2 videos this week and I got enough footage for 3 more. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So it's a pretty good Friday for me for that. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I have oh yeah, when you have a box wrench, yeah, I know, right? Oh damn, they had a bank robber at their shop. Occupant, that's crazy. Yeah, at the dealer, I can imagine that at the dealer because man, you got a lot of guys working at a dealer. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the size of the dealership, but I could imagine you would have quite a bit of I don't know if I would leave my stuff unlocked if I had that many people. I usually try to put my tools away at the end of the day. No, never mind. No, if I'm in the middle of a job, I don't put them away. I have everything on my magnetic tray, I have my sockets and all that stuff up there. But usually, I try to make sure I put stuff away so I can tell if anything's missing. Not anybody stole it, but any like I miss it, like it's on a cowl of a car or I dropped it somewhere. Luckily, I've only ever lost one thing, and it was funny thing, a 10 millimeter socket. But I found it a week later across the shop, and I bought a new one. So and at home, I have a Craftsman set and one 10 millimeter socket. So one 10 millimeter, I think it's a Matco. I think I have those sockets are Matco. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Bill. That rear main seal video, let me tell you, I made that. Some of the videos that I make, I mean, I work on all kinds of stuff, obviously you can tell that. But a lot of times when I make a video, it is because, man, I lost my ass doing it. I beat my head against a wall because I couldn't figure out how to do it, or I couldn't figure out an easy way to do it. I did not want to follow the directions. And that was one of those ones where I did not want to follow the directions. And one of my coworkers, I asked him, I said, look, I know there's got to be an easier way to do this. And he kind of gave me the rundown, but I just didn't see the whole big picture. And he told me, he's like, my old boss, he said, man, he can have one of these rear ends, the whole subframe rear end drop down in 25 minutes, talking on the phone with a sandwich in his hand. And so I thought, okay, well, yeah, it wasn't that simple for me first time. Obviously, the next time I could do it a lot faster. But that was for those people that, go search it. Go try to look up a C6 rear main seal, and you won't find anything. There is nothing. There is a guy doing it on the ground on jack stands. There's another guy who's on the ground lifting up the engine with a cherry picker and a strap. I mean, yeah. So, and a lot of them are manual transmissions too. This one was an automatic, so that made it even more difficult because it was different because it wasn't a clutch on the engine. So that was why I gave you guys that video. That's why I put that one out there. So hopefully that's gonna save some people some time. All right. Good night, Ag Tech. Oh, thanks, Wrench. You know what? Man, that oil pan though. So I had a rear main seal and an oil pan on that thing. And I was thinking in my head, man, heck yeah, this is gonna be a piece of cake. I'm gonna do this rear main. I'm gonna pull out this bell housing, and then I'm gonna drop the oil pan. I'm gonna get it all cleaned up, and it's gonna all go back together like butter. And then when I got the whole rear end dropped down and moved back and the bell housing off, and I looked at it and I thought, how am I going to take this engine, the oil pan off? Because there's nothing to support it. So then, okay, so now I'm at a pickle. And okay, so for the oil pan, all right, same procedure. Drop the whole front cradle out completely and move it, take it out, and then take the oil pan down. All right, well, that's a lot of work, man. You have a rack and pinion, you have this weird transverse spring or traverse spring. I forgot what they call it. You got all this stuff. You got, just a whole lot of stuff. And so, man, I'm fighting it. I've got what's up, Artem? My son, some more of my son's friends are chiming in. So I've got the engine, I've got the subframe disconnected. It won't pull down. I'm trying on it. It won't pull down. So finally, man, I'm just about to go and follow the directions and just go take everything apart like it says, because I cannot get the oil pan out because of the pickup tube in the front. So I pry it down. I've got 2x4s in between the engine mounts and the subframe. I'm prying everywhere. I cannot get it. I'm jacking up the motor. And finally, I got it out. Okay, cool. I start it up. I drop it down. It's got this hissing noise and a check engine light. Got both banks lean, code, crap. I got hissing, both banks lean. Well, you know what happened, right? Yeah, I broke the brake booster nipple. Yep, that happened. So then, then my service manager, he's like, "Oh man, no problem. I know the fix. Man, I know guys. We do this all the time. You got a soldering iron, right? Yep. All right, cool. So we get the intake out, bust the intake off. We get a soldering iron, and we start. And he solders the whole thing, and he glues it together. He like just melts the all around. He melts it all and gets it all nice and pretty. And I'm like, good night, Nick. I'm thinking to myself, should we glue this some more? And he's like, nah, man, this is good. All right. So I made a mistake, and the oil pressure switch sticks up too high. And so to not break the nipple in the car, I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to push this. There's no way I'm going to be able to push this brake booster hose on an intake that's under a cowl where I can barely see and not break the nipple. And so I put the hose on, and another guy's helping me. We're finagling, we're trying to get it in there, and it breaks. Long story short, I finally figure out that the brake booster nipple is like this, and the oil pressure switch is here. So the intake has to go in like that, and then you connect the booster hose. So there was no way to put the hose on, and so we had to replace the intake basically, and then everything was fine. Car left; it was all beautiful. Okay, so who is all on TTS? Okay, so who is all on TTS? We have Power Stroke Jude, we have me, we have Tyler Turbo Tai Tai, we have Dezeni. It's Dezeni. No, that's not. It's Davion on here, but it's Dezeni. Let's see. We have Tech May. We have Princess Jamie. We have KE Built It. We have Kentucky Tech. I think that's it at the moment. Who was all? I know we initially had looked into several other people, and then we had some people that just weren't busy, and they were just too busy to. Let me click on here just so I can see. So we have Tech May. It's Dezeni. We have Power Stroke Dude. KE Built It. Kentucky Tech. Oh, Dave, One Mechanic. Oh my God. Princess J. And I think our next video. Actually, I'm pretty sure we all decided. The cool thing about this group is that we have who's live? Oh, Justin Dow. He's live every Friday. I think he's been live a lot actually. So we are going to be doing a video series where we have so Turbo Tai Tai. He works on buses in Southern California. He is a natural gas and diesel bus guy, and I believe he used to live up here in my area at one point. Dave is a fleet guy who works on everything, and I mean everything. We have me and Dezeni. We both work in independent. Princess Jamie, she works on Jeeps, and I'm not sure I think she's in the military. Tech May is in a dealership right now. Power Stroke Dude, he works. He does his own thing right now. So on the weekends, he's doing working on stuff at home. And then hang on, I know I'm missing somebody. It always happens. You could have it all written down. Oh, Kentucky Tech. He works on big trucks. And yes, Wrench, if you go to the TTS page, we're all on there. It shows all of us. So that is that. Oh, but our next video is going to be something along the lines of giving you a little perspective of all the different sides of all the different industries. So you're going to have the big truck. You're going to have the big truck fleet semis from Kentucky Tech. You're going to have Power Strokes when you're talking about, you're going to have the dealerships type atmosphere. And because Power Stroke, dude, he doesn't work in a dealership right now, but he worked in a dealership for a long time. Like as long as I've been working on cars. So that's the dealership aspect right there. I would say more along the lines of, I mean, not fleet, but the way it is nowadays, almost fleet, because he just did nothing but diesels at Ford. And then you have the independent opinion from me and Dezeni and a couple others, and then Dave with the fleet, and he'll talk about working on cars and trucks and lawnmowers and all kinds of stuff that I don't even know what they are. So Wrench 138 had something in his video, and I don't know, the heavy wrench, and I think one mechanic made comments about what he was working on. I didn't even know what it was. So, clearly it'll give you a really good perspective. So if you're thinking about going into the industry, or if you're in school and you're not sure where you want to go, or let's say maybe you work in independent, you want something different, you're not sure what direction you're going to go, it'd be kind of cool. Like for me, if I hadn't been doing this so long, maybe not that long ago, maybe I would have been looking for this type of opinion because I was considering the dealership. I was considering the fleet diesel department. I was considering a change in what I do now. And so I strongly considered a change. So to kind of give you that idea and that perspective. So, but that's what it's going to be. And that's what we're going to be doing next. So let me catch up on the comment. Trying to keep an eye on the comments. Make sure I'm not missing anything. So plastic welding, JD Tech talked about plastic welding. One of my coworkers actually bought like a Snap-on plastic welder. I don't know. It wasn't cheap, but I don't know. I've seen those before. I can't imagine buying a plastic welder. I mean, I know they work. I know they can work. I don't know. I say super glue it, and then if you really have to do it, I mean, I guess if it needs to look pretty, plastic weld that thing. But if it doesn't, then man, I don't know. Super glue it, and then just throw some JB Weld on there for strength. Just let it set up. But anyways, I know Wrench 138. He's gonna wake up in the middle of the night and then drop a video. We're gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be like 2 new videos. He's gonna be like, what it's like waking up at 2 a.m. after having 4 beers and a shot and having to walk to the gas station and get gas in the morning. And then, it's going to be a video about that. And, I don't know. It'll be crazy. I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and watch your videos, bro. I love it. I love it. I remember it wasn't even just a couple days ago you dropped your first video. I'm glad that we all gave you the not the guts or anything like that, but we encouraged you to do what you want to do. Drop videos, and I love it. And I love your personality, dude. That's the coolest thing I love about YouTube is a personality. You gotta laugh, and you gotta joke around, and you can't edit out all your mistakes. But Wrench, so for your editing, download an app called KineMaster. And that's what I use. I use that. I think one mechanic uses that for when you're going to edit them. It works really good for editing videos. So I like it. That's what I use. Yeah. So I think so, Kentucky. Yeah. We got him going. I love it. I love his videos. I can't wait to see that generator run one day. It's going to be like 45 videos later in 4 days. And then he's finally going to go to start the generator. And then we're all going to be on the edge of our seat. And then he's going to be like, and then I'm going to start it tomorrow. and then we're gonna have to wait for the next video. So right now at my new shop, it's kind of tricky. I have so I'm used to working on the opposite side of the shop than everyone else. So I'm used to having a ton of space, a ton of I didn't have anybody playing music. I didn't have anybody around me unless they were asking me questions. And so now I'm like right next to, because it's like on one side of the shop, it's like three guys all lined up. What's up, buddy? Three guys all lined up, and I'm on the end right by the door, right next to the parts washer. And then on the other side of the shop, I think there's excuse me. I think I'm sorry, there's four guys on my side of the shop, including me. Three on the other side, and then one at the back of the shop. So right now I'm right by the door. So I'm right next to the parts washer, right by the door. And so it's really tricky. I'm starting to get my groove as far as when I can film and when I can't. And thank you, Wrench. And so it's been pretty tricky figuring out how to film videos at this new shop. And it's huge. Oh my god, the shop's so big. At the end of the night, we pull in like 25, 30 cars. It's crazy. But some of the cars are starting to leave. We had a whole bunch of cars that had cats stolen. But yeah. What about you guys? You guys having sorry about that. Are you guys having anybody else having a rash of catalytic converters stolen off of cars? I don't know that many of you work in the independent, but I know Priuses are huge for the cats getting stolen. A lot of cats. Let me know if you guys are. I know we are here. Yeah, we actually we definitely slowed down this week and last week. I definitely it would be like hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and then finish the car and then have nothing. And have a couple oil changes and that's it. Have nothing. But then the last few days it's been nothing but I think I looked at one Sprinter it's a fleet. We're waiting for authorization. That one needs a radiator. And then I just did a turbo and an intercooler on a Sprinter and some services on a Mercedes. And I had another Mercedes before that. And then now I have a BMW that won't start. And the guy disconnected the battery. And the battery's in the trunk. So I can't even get in the trunk. And the hole that's in between the back seats, it's cut out. Somebody cut it out. Okay. It is literally that's probably exaggerated. It is literally probably that big. If I could get my head through there, I'd be lucky. So I tried to grab the smallest guy in the shop and shove him through the hole, but he's pretty fast. He ran. I just need somebody to open up the trunk. We tried pulling on the string and it looked like it's a lever to pull it. We tried pulling on that, nothing. Man, we tried poking at it, the key. I mean, the key's all messed up, so we couldn't even put a battery in the key fob. So so does any said it's a Cali thing? Okay. So and Small Engine said nobody's stealing cats off mowers in Texas. So no, I'm just kidding. Oh, that sucks, Small Engines. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Hasn't had work in over a month. Man, that's a bummer. Oh, nice wrench. Oh, maybe we're gonna see that generator start next week. So I actually had four cars come in this week that need engines, all been declined. Ah, oh, damn, that sucks, man. Okay, so Matt's having them stolen in Texas too. Are they Priuses, Matt? I know here it's Prius. I mean, people are stealing everything, but Priuses are huge just because they're so easy. because they can literally unbolt them at the front and the rear and then cut the O2 sensor wire. Okay, so it's really common in Ohio too. So it's just everywhere. See, we actually had, so let's say, how far back? 10, 12 years ago, we went through a huge rash of catalytic converter theft, and it was on everything. I mean, they were stealing them off of everything. And I would weld 5 cats on a week. I mean, it was like at least 5. And I would usually try to upsell people. We had these hangers. They were probably about that long, about maybe 12, 14 inches long. It was steel that was, it was probably a half-inch thick. And it hung down, and at the top, it was on a hinge, and it had a bracket with a hole. And so I would usually tell people, hey, for like a half hour extra, I'll put this rod on there, and I'll weld it to the cat, and I will, and it will hopefully help prevent them from stealing your cat again. And I usually will find a spot on the frame. I'll mount it to the frame. I laid it across the cat, and I actually tack welded it to the cat itself, not the pipe before or anything like that, to the actual cat. And so, anyways, so I never had anybody get their cat stolen, and then have it stolen again. And so we had this Pathfinder come in. It was an insurance job. Lady comes in, puts on our homeowners like $2,500. It's a bolt-in cat. Another guy bolts it up, and I said, hey, make sure you tell him for like a half hour out of pocket, I'll weld, this bracket on there, and hopefully it'll prevent. And so she did. And she went, she said, you know what? She paid the half hour. I came up there. The guy bolted it on. I came up there. I found a spot. I mounted it, laid it across there. I tack welded it to the cat. 1 week later, she rolls up with a fat exhaust leak. And they came back to her house, cut her cat, and went, oh, crap, it's not coming out. And they left the cat sitting there. So I got lucky. I was able to just have somebody just, put the cat up, pull the two together, put a couple tack welds on it, pull the pipe up from underneath, put a couple tack welds on it, and then just lay a fat bead. I mean, it's a fat bead. I mean, I'm going from welding just 2 pieces of metal straight like this. And I put a fat bead all the way around it and never had a problem again. So they must not have went back after that. Tech May's in the house. What's happening in Tech May? So that happened there. At the last shop I was at this other shop, and there was this Prius. The cat had been stolen. It came back because the cat got stolen again. I guess we replaced the cat. They took it to an exhaust shop and had them weld up a piece of rebar all along the whole exhaust. And then they came back again with the stolen cat, and all they did was go back further in the exhaust and cut it off. And then they just had their cat put on with nothing. And then I didn't work at that shop anymore. These people had 3 cats put on this Prius. And the sad thing is, they were all stolen off the car at church, the same church every time. So that was pretty sad. But yeah, so we've had a rash of it lately. There's a company. So at this shop I'm at now, we have, I think, at least three Prius shop cars, whether they're shuttles or loaners. I think we have either 1 or 2 Prius loaners, and I think 2 Prius shuttles, maybe. We have 3 or 4. Anyways, so there's this company that makes this plate. And, I don't remember what the name of it is. But anyways, it's this plate, and it's got holes drilled all down the side. It's got 3 or 4 holes in the front. And the front is cut out like it's like angled, and it goes around. Well, it fits the perfect curvature from the rear of the cross member that comes across, and there's either 3 or 4 bolts. And you put the plate up there, and the plate's thick. It's like probably that thick. And you put the plate up there, and you bolt the plate up, and then you have to drill holes all through the frame. And you mount it up with, like, I think 4 or 5 8mm self-tapping screws on each side. And then you come back with a riveter and you rivet the plate in like 4 places down each side of the frame. And that way they can't get the cat because they can't unbolt it, they can't get to it. So I haven't seen one stolen. Good night, wrench. I haven't seen one stolen after that. But so this shop, I guess, right before I got there, we had somebody bring in their Prius because their Prius had their cat stolen. So we gave them a loaner Prius, and we thought that it had the plate already on it. And the next day, they brought that loaner Prius back with that cat stolen because that one didn't have the plate. So I think that's when I saw the plate. Was one of my coworkers just put the cat on that yesterday, and put the plate on. I'd never seen that plate before, so that's where I saw that. So anyway, so that's a big thing now. I guess they make an alarm. There's an alarm that you can buy also. So I saw it put on it at a different shop, and it's this alarm. Basically, you lay this wire, and you put this it's almost like heater box. You know that real thick, tacky tar paper? It's real thick. Don't touch it if you have gloves on, right? So you put something like that all along the whole exhaust, over the cat, all along the cat, and past the cat. And then it's hooked to the battery, and then it's brought up to a siren. And if any sort of there's little nuts there, and if there's any sort of vibration in the exhaust, it'll turn the alarm off, and a siren will go off, and you can't disconnect it. You can't do anything once it happens. So I've never seen anybody try to steal one with that, but somebody say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. He has his oranges. All right, those are big oranges too.
So it has like 300.
Holy cow! So there's that also. There's yeah. So that's my rant about catalytic converters being stolen. Just trying to catch up on We tried that too. Bill Beckett to talk about Meineke tack welds the bolts. Yeah, that doesn't work either. We tried that too. They stole it with the bolts. Tack welded. SL Actives, what's happening? What's happening, brother? Thanks for checking out the live stream. And you know what sucks about a Prius, man? I don't know if any of you guys drive Priuses or if you have ever driven a Prius, but sometimes you start a Prius and you can start backing out. So I'll start one in the morning and I'll start backing out. Man, sometimes you can get a good 10, 15, 20 seconds out of a Prius before the gas motor kicks in. So imagine you jump in your car, start it up real quick, start backing out. Man, 20 seconds later, I mean, you can get all the way back out the driveway almost. 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden the gas motor kicks in and you have no cat. Dude, that's friggin' scary. It like, even the cars that I know have no cats on them, you're sitting there and you're like puckered, just waiting for that loud exhaust to kick in. Yeah, that's pretty scary. I mean, I can't imagine. I always think like Priuses are always kind of weird anyways, because you're driving them and then all of a sudden the gas motor kicks in and you're like, oh crap. If you're not used to it, like, it's really weird. I know the first time I ever started working on hybrids, Priuses were really weird because you just be driving down the road and like the gas motor would just kick in and turn off, and like, it kind of catches you off guard at first. So, but oh, that sucks. You guys have had steel rims and tires. Oh man, I saw it was like a long time ago. It was probably 6 months ago or so, where somebody went to a dealership and stole the wheels and tires off of, like, holy crap, 200 vehicles or something crazy like that. It was crazy. Like, I'm sure you guys all heard the story, and I'm sure I got the wrong amount of vehicles, but it was pretty nuts. I mean, they stole them off of every single vehicle in the lot. So. Oh, that sucks. 15 out of 20. Holy moly. Man, that's awful. That's a rough day right there to come to work next day. Man. And then you got insurance, and then you got to deal with the insurance, and then you got to wait. You can't do it. Oh, man. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, no good. So do many of you work on the weekends? I do not. Thank God. Left the car sitting on the rotors. Ouch. Wow. Man. What if that damaged? I was about to say, I bet I'm damaging a lot of stuff because the rotors are sitting on the studs. You got the rotor sitting on the lug studs and wow. Weirdest thing I've found in a glove box. Weirdest thing I have found. I don't think I've found anything weird. I think I've heard of stuff. One guy found, well, I mean, not in a glove box. I don't think I've found anything weird. I've found a lot of money before. My favorite thing is when you go. So this talk about a glove box. I haven't found anything weird in glove boxes. I've heard of stories of things that people have found. And somebody found a gun in a car while I was at the shop, but not in a car that I worked. But you know what my favorite thing to do is when you find stuff, you take the glove box out and you find all kinds of stuff back there, envelopes and letters and stuff, and you just put them on the seat. And then the weirdest thing is when the customer comes back and goes, "What the hell is this stuff?" And they have no idea where that stuff came from, and you have to explain to them that you found it behind their glove box. And that's probably the weirdest thing about a glove box for me. I found like a lot of like crumpled up money. I have personally never really found anything weird in a glove box. I have heard about stuff. Yeah, I've heard about lots of stuff. Just dirty underwear and guns and sex toys and like I heard about one vehicle where somebody found a lot of money. Like went and told the manager, like, "Hey, it's a lot of money." You know, and I see occupant. I see memes and stuff on Instagram, where not memes, but where people post stuff and say, "Hey, you think it's a trap?" My favorite one has been over the past like 6 months, where it'll be a big old pile of toilet paper, and somebody will say, "Do you think it's a trap?" You know, that I love that with everything that's going on. So, all right, just rented. Good night, buddy. Thanks for checking out the stream here. But you know what I hate the most? I don't smoke marijuana and I can't stand it. I don't like it. I haven't done it since I was 19, and I don't even think I really liked it then when I did it. But anyways, I can't stand the smell of it. And the worst is when you get in a car where people clearly do it all the time. I mean, the whole car smells like it. I had just had hang on. I just had a car. They didn't want to fix it. It was a Mercedes. Had a misfire and a broken actuator on the front of the intake manifold. So imagine that. Had a Mercedes that needed an intake and coils. But anyways, the whole car just reeked of marijuana. I mean, oh my God, reeked so bad. And there were seeds and stems and just all over the seats and the floor. And I mean, it just looked like somebody was opening up bags of weed all over this car, and it was awful. So I don't like the smell of cigarettes either. Although I had anyways, I don't like the smell of that either. So you get in the car and it's like people have just been smoking like crazy in there, and then they roll up the windows and then they leave it for you, and it's just like, oh god, yeah, I can't stand that. That drives me crazy. And it's always the ones that you have to be in the most are the ones that smell the worst. Those are the ones where you're actually in the car with the scanner and you're like trying to figure stuff out, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, me too. Oh god, Tech May, it's awful. And there are like ashes everywhere, and oh god. Yeah, or a stinky ass car. I mean, rank. There was this one car, and I owned a shop. I would have told this lady to kick rocks. This car was filled up to the top of garbage in the passenger side of the car, and the entire rear of the car was full of garbage. And the car smelled so bad that I had to put my head out the window and almost threw up trying to bring the car around. And she would I had to look at this car probably like 5 or 6 times, and it smelled so bad. It was by far probably it was the worst car I've ever smelled in my life. I guess other people have told her like, "Sorry, we're not looking at her car." So. But yeah, that's no good. I don't enjoy that at all. Sometimes you just have to say no. Oh my god. So in California, we do when your car is salvage title. If you wreck your car, you get a salvage title. If you want to get your car registered, you have to get what's in California. You have to get a California brake and California lamp inspection, and basically just you have a shop who's certified to do it, and you have an adjuster who's certified. So I have those licenses, and so I would get those cars, and it always seemed like the nastiest cars were the brake and lamp cars. I would get these cars, and they would be literally would have like half, like you would look on the floorboard, and there'd be like empty Chinese food garbage where it just you could tell that like it was covered in whatever kind of sauce they ate, and like half eaten hamburgers and all this like partial food garbage and a lot of it. I mean, like piled up in the floor. Oh my god, that is so nasty. I do not enjoy that at all. Oh, I can imagine a tow truck driver. Oh God. Yeah, that would be. Woo, man. I've never thrown up, Tech May. The one I told you earlier, that one was where I had to put my head out the window. That was the closest I'd ever come. Oh man. You know what? You know what's funny? You worked at a Cadillac dealership. So I always find, it's funny when you deal with higher end cars. When you deal with higher end cars, a lot of times you deal with the lower end clientele. People that should not own those vehicles. They do not have any money. They don't care. They don't take care of them. They don't treat them like they should. And then they just complain about how their Mercedes, they don't understand how their Mercedes costs that much more to fix than their Toyota Tacoma. So, oh, that's nasty. Oh, cockroaches. Oh God. Oh man, that's awful. Wow. So we had a car that smelled so bad, had to hold your breath, and the guy working at the shop at the time who did and knew it smelled. Oh yeah. I had a 19 hang on. It was a 1993 uh hang on. It was a Chrysler LeBaron. Chrysler Oh my God. Was it a LeBaron? It was a LeBaron, I think. It was a 1993. Okay. So this thing comes in. It's 20 years old. Nothing has ever been done to this thing. All right. So it comes in because it won't run. And it won't run because it has rat damage. And you can clearly smell the car and know that it has rats. I mean, urinating in that thing. And it was pretty bad. Inside the car smelled awful. Under the engine compartment smelled awful. So, anyways, so I got it fixed, got it figured out. All right, cool. It was a bunch of wiring repair. I did it all, got it all fixed, and the person said they wanted to get it all up to snuff. They wanted to drive this car. So cool. So new timing belt, all new fluids, and new tires, and got it all done. Got it all beautiful. So the car was at the shop for I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks. So we had this other car, this I don't know, this night, just like 90 something Cadillac. Really nice car. Lady took care of it, done all the services and everything. So around that same time, this lady, we noticed that rats had gotten in the car and started eating the car. They were eating the interior. See you, small engines. Have a good night. Um, wait, did I just see that? Hang on. Did I miss something? Oh, have a good night, small engines. Um, so basically, this LeBaron that was in there, it must have come in with some sort of rat, must have been in there because it got in the shop, and then it basically ate this Cadillac. It was chewing up the interior. We had to replace a bunch of stuff on the interior, and yeah, that sucked. That was all bad. So, oh yeah, or soda cans or soda spilled all in the console, and you can hardly shift the shifter because it's full of soda and coffee and just oh man, some of the stuff that we see, it's crazy. I want to see what Holmes was talking about. Okay. He was talking about a guy that he bought a rebuilt Charger. Power steering pump was $1,000. Holy crap! And the drive shaft was junk on it. Wow. Spent another 7,000 or more. Holy crap! He had to buy a new engine too. Oh my god. I know, right, Tech May? I know I'm feeling I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. I'm gonna stop talking about the rats and the garbage. So Friday, I have to. I've got my son's friends. They're all into cars and getting stereos and all that stuff. So one of the friends went and had a stereo put in. I've got to run the subwoofer knob for that. Got to do that. Probably not this weekend, but I'm going to do that pretty soon. That's funny, doesn't it? Let's see here. Yeah, I've heard some stories. We actually found a gun in one car. It was a car that we acquired. So we had to call the sheriff and had him come and take the gun, come get the gun, and it had no serial number on it or anything like that. And they had to dispose of it. I'm not quite sure what they did. So what, do you what did I miss with Power Stroke Jude? Audio electronic guy. Oh, me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, not really. I don't know. Man, he went and had my son's friend went and had his stereo all put in, and then like the amp didn't work or something, so he went and got like a different amp, and they had run all the wires and they had it all set up and zip tied, and they literally let him leave with the battery connected and all the wires run to the trunk, and the ground and the power wires are sitting like this. zip tied with all the other wires, and they were hot. And they let the kid leave like that and drive around until he got an amp hooked up. So I was actually pretty surprised. So when I didn't finish it, I disconnected the amp and told him, like, I can't believe that they let him drive around with hot wires in his trunk. So I had a Chrysler 300 come in one time, and the car had like just an awful trunk fire, and that's where the battery was, and the whole entire fuse box for the whole car. We had to get a used fuse box, and I mean it had some fat. I mean the battery cables were like this big, so it must have had some serious like stereo stuff back there for battery cables that big. But anyways, we had to get a used. They didn't make a harness for this thing anymore. We had to get a used fuse box with wiring that was like this long. I had to lay in the car and solder like 150 wires. So I'm sitting there making all these wires. I'm stripping wires for days, and then I had to join. It's the only time I've ever had to join two battery cables together. I've never had to do that. I don't do aftermarket stuff. Everything I do is pretty much like the way it came. But the battery cable came from the front and then from the back, and it had to. I literally had, and I mean the battery cable was like it was factory cable. I would say it was probably a good that thick, and I had to. What did we end up doing? We ended up getting uh, a double crimp connector. Excuse me, a double crimp connector. I ended up stripping both ends of the wire, crimping it together, and then I soldered the wire to the crimp, and then I had to put the heat shrink was too big, so I had to electrical tape back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then heat shrink on top of that, and then tape some more to make sure it didn't catch on fire. So yeah, it was, man. That car took me several months to finish. What do you mean? Do I even wrench? Of course I wrench. I've never had to butt two battery cables together. I've made battery terminal ends and things like that, but I've never had to splice battery cables together. I've never had to do that. I wrench once in a while. Um, so I'm not a car audio expert, that's for sure. I can hook stuff up, but I'm not like those car audio guys, man. They get in there and they whip it around. And well, out here in California, we don't splice battery cables together. Does any? No, I'm just kidding. Wait, what is a spark plug? Is that like a glow plug? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever spliced in battery cables before. I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever spliced, but maybe I soldered battery cables together. I'm not sure. I can't recall. Whew, sorry about that. Oh my god, tired. What about you guys? Tell me about what was your crappiest thing you did this week? I'll be right back. All right. I am back. A sunroof rattle. Oh man. Oh, that can be a pain in the butt. God, sunroofs, man, they can be anything to do with the sunroof can be quite an ordeal. I had to take a oh yeah. Oh God. Fuel pressure regulator. A Ford a 4.2. What is that? A 4.2. Excuse me. What is the 4.2? Why is that not ringing a bell? I don't know why that's not ringing a bell. 4.2. Oh, that sucks, Tech May. Yeah, I had some big sunroof jobs, man. I've done some Subaru Foresters. You got to take the entire, you have to take like the entire, like, uh, all the pillars out and the headliner and oh my God, the pillars out. You have to take all of the, in the Subarus to get the pillars out, you have to take because they come out from the bottom. Oh my God! You have to take out all the pillars. You got to take out all the floor in the back. Man, they could be such a pain in the butt. Oh my God! A mouse was causing it. Oh my God! Wow. The V6 they put in like the 2000s. Why can I not? Ford 4.2. What kind of car? A V6 4.2. What is it? Oh, a 4.2. Oh my God. The V6. Yes. The 4.2. Yes, I know. That's the one with the isolator bolts, right? Isn't yeah, F-150s. That's the one that those are the 4.2s. They said, okay, so okay, I remember those used to have problems where you get lean codes. And the lean codes would happen at idle. And the problem would be the isolator bolts, and that would be the cause of it. So you'd have to take off the upper. The total correction was to remove the upper plenum. Then they wanted you to actually remove the lower plenum all the way out of the car, change all the gaskets in. The isolator bolts had a sealing thing in them. I would just prop them up, pop the gaskets out, clean them up, put new gaskets. I mean, I would only lift them up as high as I had to, slip new gaskets in, put them down, and then put the new isolator bolts in, and then put the perimeter gasket on the plenum, and then put the top on. So, so the C clip. Okay, you couldn't get the snap ring off the regulator. Wow, I haven't. God, the last fuel pressure regulator I did that had a snap ring, man, I think it was on a Buick. It was like a Buick LeSabre. It would barely start, and then it would run like poo. And the fuel pressure regulator was just leaking right into the intake manifold. Um, and I think that one had a C clip. Pretty sure had a snap ring. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's an hour and a half, everybody. Well, we got like 6 people left. I don't know. We're dropping like flies in here. So it's been a long. Still see a lot of older cars. Yeah, we unfortunately the shop I'm at right now we don't actually take in a lot of older cars. We don't get anything older than I think 96 where I'm at right now. I think they don't like to see anything older than that because then we just end up with we end up with cars that just sit and sit and sit. You can't get parts for them. It's a big issue, and then you have to warranty that crap, and warranty and stuff like that from that old of cars is tough. But yeah, I'm very fortunate to not have to deal with that. So I don't deal with that. Do you guys do a little European over there? Does any? I'm doing all of them right now. Sprinters are probably the toughest for me right now, the toughest diesel. Because it's a Mercedes, because I don't have Mercedes training. I never worked for a Mercedes dealer or anything like that. You worked on a Volvo C70 the other day. Oh yeah, those okay. Okay, soak up some of that gravy with your Audi mounts there. I saw your post about that. See, we have a lot of people here that can afford to fix them. Sprinters are probably by far the hardest to deal with because they are Mercedes. They have the Mercedes technology, and it's a diesel, so it's even harder because Mercedes has by far Mercedes and BMW and stuff like that. They have by far their software and their programming and all that stuff is it's by far a lot better than the American stuff. They were ahead of the game with all that stuff as far as like the way that they figured out their fuel trims and all that stuff. They kept it way more tight, and that makes it a lot harder to deal with. And then when you're dealing with a diesel, it's even trickier because, and the new shop I'm at right now. So this one Sprinter I just put a turbo on today. That one had a code to kick my butt the other day. And at the shop I'm at right now, man, we have 2 Snap-on Motuses. We have an Autel. We have an Autologic. I don't know if you ever use an Autologic. I'd heard of it, but I didn't really know what it was. But an Autologic is a European scan tool. I mean, it's almost factory scan tool. I had all the scan tools out trying to figure out this code, and oh my god, it kicked my butt. In the end, I cleared all the adaptives, and the code cleared, but the fins on the impeller looked like they had like little jagged edges where it just had a whole bunch of stuff going through that turbo. So okay, he uses the Autologic. Okay, yeah, we have the Autologic. So I was talking to the European guy, the guy at the shop who is the European guy who's out right now, and he said that scan tool, man, I think he said that scan tool is about 20 grand to buy the scan tool just for the box, and the box looks like a toy. I'm not even kidding. And next time I use it, I'm going to take a picture of it. It looks like a toy that your kids would play with at home. And then it's like $15,000 per manufacturer to be on this tool. And we have it for all of them. Mercedes, BMW. Yeah, I don't know. I only used it once. The Euro guy showed it to me. He was working on something. He was working on a BMW or something, and he showed it to me. I'd never seen one before. And then when I went to use it, he wasn't there. So I was like, had to figure it all out by myself. And then we have something that I used a couple weeks ago on another Sprinter. We have a Chinese Mercedes scan tool. So we have a laptop. We have this Chinese. Tyler's back. What's up, brother? I thought my chat was dying. It was like all the viewers were like dying off. They were all going to the better chats. It's super expensive, Zenny. But we have a laptop, and it's got a Chinese a Chinese Mercedes program. And so I used it on a Sprinter a couple weeks ago. Holy crap. So I'm not even kidding. I was looking at I don't know if you messed with the DEF on a Mercedes, but you can't do much with the DEF system on a Mercedes diesel. The snap-on scanners, stuff like that, they won't really do much. And they won't tell you much, and you don't really know what you're looking at when you know how you look at a Mercedes, and you're like, okay, which way how do I get there? And it's like this. That's how Europeans are with all their stupid lingo that they use that we don't know what it's saying and how it's measuring, and it's really hard to figure out. But anyways, so this one here, I clicked on the code, and I went through, and it was like, okay, go to the next step. I clicked on the next step, and it was like, okay, testing the DEF tank. And it went through all of these steps where it literally tested the entire DEF system, except for taking the injector out and watching the spray in a container and measuring the actual amount. The only problem that I had was that it asked me, it wanted to know the weight of the DEF fluid that came out in whatever time it was. And so I'm sitting there scrambling, trying to figure out how I'm going to weigh this little tiny amount of DEF fluid. And we went on Google, and thankfully we Googled it, and it was like, oh my God, I don't remember what it was, but it was like 15. Oh my God, what was it? Like 1.5 ounces of DEF fluid equaled like 1.5 grams or something crazy like that. Basically, whatever it measured out to in actual amount of measuring in a cup was the same weight. And so that was the only reason that we actually had that, was we were able to figure that out. But other than that, it went through all of the DEF tests, all of them. And it would like pressurize the tank and then watch it go off. It was in grams, yeah. It would watch it. Oh yeah, grams. Yeah, I know. Back when I was younger, and it would like pump up the DEF pump, and then it would like bleed it off and bleed it off and bleed it off and bleed it off, and it would say, okay. In the end, it said, okay, pressurized good and bled off in appropriate manner. That test passed. Go to next step, and it walked me through all the steps as a factory Mercedes scan tool would have done. So that was actually a trip to do that. So, yeah. So it was like and I worked with a guy who he was going to buy a Chinese IDS. I think it was an IDS. Before he actually bought an IDS, he was going to buy a Chinese IDS, and he told me about it. And he's like, oh, you can buy like a Chinese scan tool. The only problem is you don't have support, and you can't program with it. But you can actually do all of the factory stuff. And yeah, this one was pretty cool. I was pretty darn amazed. I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, I was dealing with a Sprinter that had a code that was like a main code with no subcode. So the main code would be like and Tyler, I was talking to Tyler about this on Instagram. The main code would say the SCR has reached its limit, but there was no subcode to say where the problem was detected, because in this vehicle, it normally it would tell you something else. EGR was implausible, or something else in the vehicle wasn't reading correctly. And this one didn't give me any subcodes at all whatsoever. So I had nothing to go on. And so I pretty much, yeah, they said they were going to take it to the dealer. I don't know. This thing had like a brand new EGR cooler, EGR valve. All the sensors in the exhaust were brand new. NOx sensors were new, oxygen sensors were new. Pretty much everything was new except for the exhaust components. So, and it ran rough every once in a while, so that wasn't good either. So, yeah, I know. Yeah, no good right there. So, all right, fellas. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. This was fun. We had 23 likes this time. I think we had not as good as last time. I think last time we had as many as 29 people in the room at one time. So, but hey, it's only my second time. At least my battery didn't die this time. Last time my battery died on my laptop before I was done in the live stream. So this was my first time. So I appreciate you guys joining in, and hopefully we can keep this going. I enjoy this. Let's keep this rolling. And okay, all right. You guys talk me into it. All right. All right. You guys ready? Let's do it. Cheers to the weekend. And thanks for joining me. And maybe we'll do this again next Friday. Maybe we'll make it a weekly thing. I don't want to step on CP's toes, but yeah, I'm enjoying this. So, anyways, have a good night, guys. Cheers, and have a good weekend.